There you look at the stage and a long list of impressive speakers tonight being touted by the RNC. Meantime, Secretary of State John Kerry saying the U.S. and its allies are making progress against terror and that ISIS is on the run despite recent attacks like the one we saw in Nice, France. There are plenty of people who disagree with him. One of them is retired Lieutenant General Mike Flynn, a former head of the Defense Intelligence Agency, a harsh critic of the administration, a major Trump supporter, and a speaker tonight. I started today by asking him about tonight's speech.
The big message is to wake up. You cannot sit this one out. This is about America's role in the world, and it is about leadership and American leadership. That's the message I'm going to send tonight.
And Donald Trump is the guy, in your opinion, that can get that done.
Oh, absolutely. I have no doubt from the moment that I met him, I knew right then and there from a great conversation and then back and forth over the course of the last year, I have no doubt he is fully capable of doing this.
I was reading some of your book and the highlights from it, The Field of Fight. It's getting a lot of great reviews. You talk about a lot of the threats that we face. One of the things that really got a lot of headlines was that you write that Al-Qaeda was working on chemical and biological weapons in Iran. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so one of the things that we have to be very honest with the American public about is that we are facing an enemy that has the intention to use weapons of mass destruction. We know they have the right types of people to do that. So people think that Al-Qaeda and Iran are like, enemies. Actually, we have seen Iran support Al-Qaeda for many, many years. Iran was a transit point between bin Laden's command and control of what was going on with Al-Qaeda in Iraq. We found leaders of Al-Qaeda hiding out in Iran. So there's this really funny relationship, and it really all comes back to this radical ideology that we're facing. How
much do we not know because of the failure to release any more of those documents from the bin Laden compound?
What we don't know is a lot. Okay? That's the American public.
What we don't know.
Yeah, what we, the American public, don't know is a lot. I would say that there needs to be far more precision by the President of the United States and clarity as to what it is that we are facing. And much of what we learned from those documents, much of what I discovered reading them, told a lot about what Al-Qaeda's plans and intentions were going forward. Not so much about what they were doing to us anyway for the previous 10 years. We learned a lot about that as well. So I think that the administration needs to be far more clear with this enemy, and they just haven't been. And I think that's the problem that we're facing today.
But we didn't hear anything about this as the administration was making the case for the Iran nuclear deal.
Right. None
of this came out until your book.
That's right. To allow a country who is the #1 state sponsor of terrorism against us to have the opportunity to build a nuclear weapon and to get as much money as they're going to get to continue to sing their national anthem, which is Death to America. I mean, that's just, it's ridiculous.
You're talking about funding terrorism. One of the things that, got a lot of attention is when Donald Trump said that Saddam Hussein was good at killing terrorists. Yep. A Washington Post editorial, others have reported that Saddam Hussein was actually funding some terrorists, including Zarqawi, back to the 70s. What about that? And what he said versus what the reality is.
This has been going on for the better part of 30, 40 years. So this rise of radical Islamism, to include guys like Saddam Hussein, who began to turn quite a bit in the 90s and then early on. But we have to be smart. We have to be really smart about who it is that we decide that we are going to go after. And I think that what we have learned is we have learned that we have made some mistakes about some of the decisions, the strategic decisions that we have made. And it's not only Saddam Hussein, but it's guys like Muammar Gaddafi as well.
But specifically for the critics of Donald Trump who say he's not learning as he's going, do you see somebody who on foreign policy can study up and
absolutely, yeah, no doubt. I mean, he's a rapid learner. He's incredibly his instincts and his judgment are really good. I think that Donald Trump is responding to is really some of the poor decisions that we have made about some of the things that we have done as a nation, because our country's going in the wrong direction, Brett. It is going in the wrong direction. That is why I'm sitting here today. All the other things that we're starting to see unravel around us, both here at home and overseas, are things that frankly, that it's going to continue to have the country go in the wrong direction. We cannot afford that.
And you're confident you can win?
I am confident that Donald Trump is going to win on a landslide.
General Flynn, thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot.